Good afternoon and welcome to the School of Computing's Further and Higher Education webinar. In this webinar today, we're going to introduce the courses offered at SERC by the School of Computing. We'll be introducing some of the team, and we'll look at the structure of the courses that we offer, and we'll identify progression routes available to you as a student upon successful completion of your course. If you have any questions, feel free to type them into the question and answer window. There will be an opportunity at the end of this webinar to ask questions of both myself and my colleague Gary Ritchie. So our team here at SERC, we currently have 31 members of staff, highly skilled professional academic staff with a vast wealth of industry experience. Our staff are constantly updating their skills to keep all the material that we deliver on our courses current and relevant to industry. Okay, before we begin, I'm going to introduce the courses that we offer. We offer courses at level 2, which is equivalent of GCSE. And entry onto our level 2 courses requires a minimum of 3 GCSEs at grade D or better. The level 2 course that we offer is a 1 year in duration. Progression from our level 2 course then is into our level 3 courses, and you may enter at level 3. Entry to our level 3 courses begins at 4 GCSEs at grade C or better. And we also offer our level 4 and level 5 higher education courses, and entry to those requires GCSEs and a minimum of 64 UCAS points. So our level 2 course is the OCR level 2 Cambridge Technical Diploma in IT. As I've stated, this is a 1 year programme, and it's aimed to give you a foundation in IT, and it's aimed at GCSE level. It's an equivalence really of around 3 GCSEs. Our emphasis on teaching, as it states there, is very much a learning and doing. So the emphasis is very much on the practical side of delivery. So what will you learn? We learn about communicating and working within the IT industry. We look at some elements of computer hardware, installing computer hardware, and tied into that, computer systems as a whole. From a development type of side, we look at website design, games design and development, and then we also look at how we can customize software. As I stated earlier, entry onto this is a minimum of 3 GCSEs at grade D or above. We do say preferably containing ICT and/or maths and English. However, there is an opportunity to gain essential skills qualifications while studying this course. As stated earlier, the emphasis is very much on the practical element. There's an expectation of attendance of 17.5 hours a week in the college, where you will learn the subject and then you will apply the practical knowledge gained within each unit. Unfortunately, we have to do assessment to gain a qualification. For our level 2 qualification, this consists of coursework throughout the year, which may be presentations, it may be observations of any practical work, and for all assessment you will be given feedback, both written and oral feedback. So all courses at SERC, and especially the level 2, we're using all the latest industry standard software and hardware packages. So you'll be introduced to all the Microsoft operating systems. You'll be introduced to Microsoft Office 365. We utilize Visual Studio, Unity for our development, and Adobe Dreamweaver for our website development. And again, this is all the most current industry standard software. So if you complete successfully your level 2 course, you can progress onto one of our level 3 courses here at SERC, and depending on how successful you are will determine whether you can progress onto our level 3 diploma in IT or our level 3 extended diploma in IT. So our level 3 offerings then. We offer both a level 3 diploma, which is the equivalent to 2 A-levels, and we offer an extended diploma, which is the equivalent to 3 A-levels. For our level 3 diploma, it's a 2-year program of study. In the first year, you'll be introduced to IT systems. You'll be looking at systems that manage information. We have a unit exploring the use of social media within the business environment, and you'll also do website development. That will progress you into year 2 of the program, where you'll be introduced to programming. You'll do an element of IT project management, and then we look at cybersecurity and incident management, and that rolls into the Internet of Things. And again, this is very much project based. Entry for this course then is for GCSEs at grade C, or if you've completed the level 2 technical diploma with us here at SERC, a pass at that will allow you to progress onto our level 3 diploma. The level 3 extended diploma then is a little bit more in depth. In year 1, we add programming, website development and data modeling into that. And then successful completion of year 1 progresses you into year 2 of the program, where you'll study the new units of mobile application development, computer games development. We look at IT service delivery, and we also look at some of the cloud technologies that are available to us. For entry onto our extended diploma program, you're required to have 5 GCSEs at grade C or above, and you must have a grade C or a level 2 essential skills in numeracy. Again, if you've completed your level 2 technical diploma with us at SERC, if you achieve a merit in that one, that will allow you to progress onto the extended diploma. So again, as the same as the level 2, there's very much an emphasis on the practical activities within the units. So there'll be an element of teaching and doing and reviewing. We also use a system called project-based learning, where you, as the students in a group, will complete a project to aid you and assist you with your learning of the relevant units. Assessment for our level 3 programs for some units is a combination of coursework, presentations and observations that are all internally assessed. However, for our level 3 programs, there is external assessment, and that takes the form of an examination and some externally set coursework. And again, as with all coursework, you will receive feedback, both written and oral, of all work submitted. And again, how will this make you more employable? We use, again, the latest industry standard software packages and hardware packages. And the slide there just illustrates some of the packages available that you guys will be using if you sign up to these courses. So, successful completion of our level 3 programs then will allow you to continue studying within SERC if you desire, and you may be able to go on to the foundation degree in IT or proceed onto the HND computing here within SERC. Similarly, because they are A-level equivalents, it will give you sufficient UCAS points to progress onto a university of your choice. Typical sort of progression routes would be software engineering, cybersecurity and games development. At this point, I'm going to hand over to my colleague Gary Ritchie, who will take you through our higher education offerings here at SERC.
Thank you very much, Michael. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gary Ritchie, and I'm responsible for looking after all of the higher education courses within the School of Computing at Southeastern Regional College. As Michael's outlined, you can enter the college at really any point in your academic journey once you've finished school, but these courses are specifically aimed at students who have either completed A-levels or A-level equivalent courses, such as the level 3 that Michael talked about earlier on. So if we move on, what I will do now is I'm going to talk about the foundation degree in computing. The foundation degree in computing is awarded by Ulster University, and the course has recently went through what is called a revalidation process. What that enabled us to do was ensure that this program contains the most up-to-date and industry-relevant skills and technologies that you would require upon completion. And those skills are mapped to either further progression into university-type courses, should you wish, or the skills that are required to enable you to enter directly into employment upon completion of the course. So if we look at the actual content then that is going to be contained within it, the way in which the foundation degree is structured is that there are compulsory modules in both year 1 and year 2. The total duration of the program, I should say, is 2 years. In year 1, you will study computational mathematics, computer systems, introduction to programming, network technology, introduction to databases using SQL, and personal qualities in the IT industry. You'll notice there that there is a blend between theoretical type subjects and practical type subjects, and that is because the ethos within SERC doesn't change regardless of level of study. Project-based learning underpins everything that we do. So it's that learning by doing approach and learning by completing projects as part of a team is where we focus our teaching strategies upon. So within all of those modules, there will be projects that you will work on either individually or as a group. In year 2 then, there are 2 mandatory modules or compulsory modules. The first is object-oriented programming, and the second one is called work-based learning. Work-based learning consists of 12 weeks of industry placement that you will undertake with an employer outside of an educational environment. And that's to enable you to take on board all of the skills that we have taught you within SERC and apply them in your chosen field of work. It enables you to develop all of those broader skills in around making you work ready. So as soon as you finish the foundation degree in computing, you're ready to go into industry, or you're better equipped to go on to university. If we look then at some of the compulsory modules on our other campuses, in Downpatrick and our Lisburn campus, there are 3 further compulsory modules that you must study in year 2 to achieve the full qualification. First is user-centered design, followed by web technologies, and then mobile application development. For this particular program on the Bangor campus, you have an option to choose between 2 different pathways. The first pathway is programming, whereby you would study the same 3 modules that we just discussed, the user-centered design, web technologies, and mobile application development. However, pathway 2 is much more infrastructure orientated, and it allows you to select modules such as wide area networking, internet server management, and cybersecurity. So if you're studying this program on the Bangor campus, you have a choice of pathway. How will this make you more employable? How will it be taught? Let's look at that next. So before we move on and look at it, there is another program at the same level of the HND and foundation degree. And the HND is the same level as foundation degree, so it's a level 5 qualification that you would exit with. Again, it's a post A-level entry, and it follows a very similar content level and content type that we have on the foundation degree. The biggest difference here for this program is that the entry criteria is slightly different, and that there is no structured work-based learning module within the course. So to put it in context, for entry onto the foundation degree, you require 64 UCAS points and 4 GCSEs, including Maths and English. Essential skills numeracy is not accepted onto the foundation degree. However, on the higher national diploma, it is 64 UCAS points and Maths and English at grade C, and we do accept essential skills for both numeracy and literacy, and 2 further GCSEs at grade C. So that's the biggest difference, in that numeracy at essential skills accepted for entry onto the HND, and there is no work-based learning module. So we'll move on and we'll have a look at the content then in relation to it. So year 1 modules within the HND include programming, networking, professional practice, database design, security, managing a successful computing project, computing systems architecture, and website design and development. In year 2, there are a mixture of mandatory modules and optional modules. The mandatory modules are computing, research project, and business intelligence. And then there are a range of optional modules depending on a pathway that you would select. And again, the pathways are campus specific. So the pathways within the HND are only available on the Lisburn campus. So in Lisburn, you have a choice between discrete maths, data structures and algorithms, advanced programming, virtual and augmented reality development, games development, transport network design, cloud computing, network security, client-server computing systems, and operating systems. If you're studying in the Bangor and Downpatrick campus, the modules that would be mandated on that campus for year 2 are computing research project, business intelligence, discrete maths, data structures and algorithms, advanced programming, virtual and augmented reality development, and games development. Again, that's maybe a little bit complicated to get across in a webinar such as this, so please, if there's any queries, come back to me, or again, refer to our website where it's laid out in much more detail. So we will move on and then look at how you will be taught. Similar to what we had in all the previous discussions, you'll be taught over 15 hours per week with around 3 hours per week mandatory study alongside that. There is an expectation that you will take time outside of the classroom environment to underpin your study in class, to undertake independent research, and that's in the region of around 22 hours per week is what we would be looking at. In the main, the modules are semesterized, and that means you'll study them in short periods of time, usually from September through to January would be semester 1, and then from February through to the end of May would be semester 2. As we've said all the way through this webinar, all of our subjects are taught in a highly practical environment using project-based learning. By enrolling at SERC in computing, you'll be using state-of-the-art industry standard equipment and using techniques that our expert staff have brought in from industry. Again, it helps us make sure that you are the most employable come the end of this course. How will you be assessed then? On each of the programs, there will be class tests, there'll be coursework, presentations, practical observations, case studies, project portfolios, and on the foundation degree, there are examinations, albeit there are a very small number. The actual assessment method is dependent on the unit or module that you're studying. So there'll be certain modules that suit an examination as their assessment, and there are others, such as programming, for example, where it makes more sense to have a project or a practical observation of your work. The assessments are scheduled throughout the year, and what we mean is that we try to make sure that you don't have a large number of assessments that are all due at the same time. We try and make sure they're spread out as much as possible to give you the best opportunity to achieve the highest level of marks that you can. As you submit work, you'll be given oral and written feedback, and it will be helping you to monitor and improve your performance over the period of the course. To give you an idea of some of the things that we will be utilising on both the HND and foundation degree to make you more employable. We use Microsoft Visual Studio as our development tool whenever you're working with your programming modules. We use Unity for games design, Microsoft HoloLens for mixed reality. We've got access to Oculus Rift, Oculus Go, and Quest when we're working with virtual reality. We use Apple iMac Pros for things like mobile application design. The languages that we utilize are industry standard languages such as .NET, C#, and Java. We utilize Microsoft SQL Server when we're working with database design. We utilize industry standard Cisco networking devices along with the simulation tool called Packet Tracer to help you with the network orientated and infrastructure orientated modules. We utilize Amazon Web Services for cloud technologies. And then in relation to operating systems, we look at both Microsoft and Linux fundamental practices when using both of those or administering both of those types of operating systems. In addition to that, there are the professional and personal development type qualifications that sit along with it to try and develop a broader understanding of the type of person that you need to be when you go out into work. Things like teamwork and communication and things like that are added in alongside your technical subjects. So once you've finished either of the HND or the foundation degree, you really have two choices that you can make in regards to progression. The first is you could choose to go and study a higher education course at university, and there's quite a number of different courses that our students progress onto every year. Some of these here include things like computer science, software engineering, and games design. And equally, you can make the decision that you want to go out into employment. And we've had a number of students in the past who have went out to work as software engineers, networks engineers, games designers, to name but a few. One thing that it is important to highlight at higher education level is that these courses incur a fee to the student, and the fee per year at this minute in time is £2,500. So if you were to study a foundation degree or an HND, that equates to £5,000 for the complete qualification. To put that into context, the average cost for a computing course at a local university is £4,350. Now, you're not expected to make payment straight away for that their course or for any of the courses that you would be enrolling on. What you would have to do is either provide evidence that you're going to self-fund it, and that's through the form of signing a direct debit form, or if you're applying for financial support from student finance, is having that application completed either online or on paper, and then having the award letter that would be issued to you. If you do have queries in relation to Student Finance NI, I've put the website on here, simply www.studentfinanceni.co.uk. And equally, we have student finance officers within the college who would be more than happy to help and assist you with that process. The application date for this year was, for courses starting in September, was the 31st of May. That date will shift depending on things coming in the coming months. It just hasn't been released yet. So we've told you a lot so far around our courses and what we do and how we develop you. But sometimes it's nice to hear, and it's good to hear what students think about our courses. And I'm hopeful that you may get the opportunity later in the academic year to meet some of us or meet some of our students face to face. But in the interim period, while that's not possible, we thought it would be useful just so you could see some quotes from our past or existing students that are studying at SERC. And India began her career at SERC on a level 3 extended diploma and is currently studying on the first year of the foundation degree at SERC. And you'll see she's talked about how she's found the staff professional and friendly, how the careers team has helped support her, how she's benefited from things like small class sizes. So there's some of the advantages that India has drawn out on her journey through SERC. We have Andrew Scott. He's a past foundation degree student that graduated last year. He's applied to what's called the SERC Intern Academy, which is a graduate recruitment program that we run within SERC. So there's opportunities there, and there's things that he's talked about in relation to the work placement and how that really helped him embed and develop his knowledge that he had gained in college and see how that would be applied in industry. And again, a past HND student was talking about how that program helped them unlock their full potential and how glad they were that they enrolled in the course. So we are conscious that we have been talking for quite a period of time since the start of this webinar, and we've covered a significant amount of information at all different levels of computing, and we're aware there may be questions or queries that you have in relation to that. So if there are, can I ask, could you put them into the Q&A, and myself and Michael will do our best to answer any questions or queries that you have. Okay, I don't see any coming through, and perhaps it may be easier if we took them by email. You'll see Michael has just put a post out into the chat there, and it'll provide you with Michael's email address, which is msimcock@serc.ac.uk for all of the further education courses, and it provides you with my email address, gritchie@serc.ac.uk, for all of the higher education courses. As I say, if at any stage you have any questions or queries that you wish to ask, please do not hesitate to make contact with either myself or Michael. If we have no questions or queries, can I thank you for taking the time to join us this evening, and wish you all the best for the rest of the year, and hope that you have a happy, healthy, and as stress-free Christmas as you possibly can have. Thank you very much.